Growing up, I never really had a real problem with being honest with my parents. I would talk about my troubles, what would stress me out at school, and even discuss issues that I would have relating to my friends or to boys I was talking to. My relationship with my parents was only so open and honest because my parents didn't make me feel ashamed for feeling the way that I was or for the way my life was. My grandma saw how hard I worked in and out of high school, and she wanted to make sure that even if I was stuck in a bad situation, we would be able to talk about it. She let me see my friends, and I understood the rules about my curfew and how to be responsible and what to do if there were people who weren't so responsible around me. This freedom that my grandma allowed me and the trust that she had in me allowed our relationship to grow. One of my friends, on the other hand, has a rough relationship with his parents. Even now, being 19 years old, his parents force him to be home by like 9:30. They always make sure that his homework and school assignments are done before he goes out, and they always create like a really long list of chores that if he doesn't finish, he's not allowed to leave the house. His relationship with his parents would be a lot stronger if they put a little faith in him. And that, in my opinion, is being a helicopter parent. By taking the time to trust and understand your children, it, I, it would greatly improve your relationship, not only in their eyes, but maybe in your eyes as well. What we will be discussing in this speech is different ways that you might be treating your relationship with your children that might make you see the ways that you are making or turning yourself into a helicopter parent. The first sign of being a helicopter parent is controlling how your children should fix their problems. A helicopter parent is someone who tries to control the way their children's problems end in a way. Some days you might want to come home. Your child might come home with a problem that they've had with a friend or a classmate, and while your first instinct may be to help your son or daughter, your first step should be to figure out how to contact. Shouldn't be, I mean, how to contact the child or even the child's parents. It's important that even at a young age, you allow your child to be confident in their decisions. And even if they're nervous, it's okay to stand up and speak for themselves. So instead of calling the parent, it's okay to discuss with your child about how will your day look going forward tomorrow when you see them again. They can stand up for themselves and talk to that friend. Getting involved in your children's problems may create a more hostile environment than you intend. If it's something very small, it's okay to talk to your child about it. Addressing the other children or children's parents may create a bigger problem than you think. You don't want to cause any permanent problems, especially if they're very young. Kids will be kids, and a lot of the time, the friends that they have now won't be the same friends that they have in a year. As long as you show your child how to speak, how they're feeling, they can fix the problems the way the kids do. Lastly, trying to get involved with your son or daughter's problems might make them uncomfortable. Sometimes talking to a parent is the only thing we want as a child. We don't want our parents to fix our problems because it makes us feel awkward and uncomfortable. Talking about our problems allows us to become more comfortable and more honest with our parents. When a parent tries too hard to get involved, it makes us feel like that we don't want to talk about our problems with you again. Being supportive, unless the child is like asking for your specific help, is all we as children need from a parent when it comes to our problems. Getting involved in certain issues could potentially lose the trust between you and your child, while trying to fix your child's problem is an issue. Not allowing your child to privacy is just as important. For example, trying to get into the romantic part of a child's life isn't very kind. I know as a parent, it is interesting to know what kind of love interest your child may have, and it's a kind of touchy subject. And even though you want to know everything, um, it's something that they need to become comfortable talking to you about. When they're children, being interested in boys and girls is something kind of unimportant to us. When I was younger, my grandma would always ask me about boys in my first grade class. I was in first grade, and that's not something I was particularly interested in. Like, I was just a little girl. I didn't care about having boyfriends, and my awkwardness toward the conversation made her realize that the subject is a bit touchy, in my opinion. Some things we like to keep private, and it takes us a while to feel confident enough for us to say something. We will lose confidence if you keep barging into our thoughts. School is something not only my parents want us not school is not something only parents want us as children to succeed at, but us as the student, we also want to succeed as well. I mean, if you see your children, lying in their bed, or they stay on their phone all the time, or you get calls from a teacher about like their education and their grades are not very well at school, it's a sign for you to get your child help. But if your child spends time doing schoolwork, it's okay to leave them alone. You don't need to check every single low grade and email their teacher back to fix assignments. Privacy includes school because it's a part of our development. Personally, in high school, I felt more confident knowing my grandma was not hovering over me, asking me questions, telling me to improve and stay after school, and constantly looking at my grades. It helped me succeed better in school, and it made me enjoy going to school even more. Lastly, something as simple as not listening or treating your child like a human is being a helicopter parent, and it may cause your kids to rebel against you. As adults, it's important to understand that you do have more knowledge than us as teenagers or children. You've lived longer than us, so you know more than we do, and that's understood. Despite knowing more and having experienced more than us, it doesn't mean that your thoughts and ideas are invalid. When we listen to our when you listen to our thoughts and ideas, it helps us internally realize that what we say matters, and even if we're still learning. You may have a better way of thinking, but it's better to offer a helpful suggestion to encourage our thoughts and to help us gain a better understanding of different things. Not allowing us to feel and having a chance at speaking makes us feel kind of worthless. Also, when parents don't treat us with respect, it makes in my opinion, it makes me want to act out. Being a parent means that even if things are hard for you to hear, your child will make valid points against you. For example, my friend's mom doesn't ever listen to anything he has to say. If he's trying to explain how she could be a little bit more respectful toward him, she tends to change the subject and disregard everything that he was saying. Although the information is true, what he's saying is valid, she won't listen because she, as a parent, feels like she needs to be respected. The reality of it is, it doesn't matter how old you are, and it doesn't matter who you are, everyone should be respected. Being able to communicate with your parents about something that they can improve on is important. Most of the time, when I talk to my parents or when my friends talk to their parents, being able to communicate is something that they can improve on. The same way that we can improve, they can improve too. We're all, we're not perfect. Most of the time, we try to address how you make us feel, not to make you feel like a bad mom or dad, but it's because we want to build a better foundation for our relationship. Cutting us off just because you don't feel like listening or because it hurts your feelings makes you a helicopter parent. Certain things like trying to fix all our problems and invading our privacy and not listening to valid points we may make all address the ways someone could be a helicopter parent. Wanting to make sure that your son or daughter lives a good life is nothing out of the ordinary. I know my parents want me to succeed, and even my friend's mom wants him to succeed. Sometimes space allows a better relationship to grow because a child and a parent are two separate beings. Being a helicopter parent could very much harm a relationship between you and your child. At the end of the day, making sure that being a parent is about supporting your child, even when you think a little bit differently than they do. It allows them to grow and make their own choices, even if those choices that they make hurt them in the end. Learning is a part of growing up. Thank you.